welcome to In Hindsight. I am your host, Day, and also our host.
Vivek.
And also with us is Octo
Octo.
and Rito. And this is where we showcase local New Mexico events, restaurants, and anything that New Mexico has to offer. And we also talk about hot topics and also, are you the a-hole? And what we're going to talk about with the New Mexico stuff today is, I'm not quite sure if you've been to Sawmill.
I've been to Sawmill, but not recently.
Oh, okay. It's a pretty popular spot here in New Mexico, especially in Albuquerque, because I do like that they offer different food. They have sushi, and they have they even have like a charcuterie, not a charcuterie, but like a meat. Like you can get like steak and stuff in that area. So this place is Madrid. They are a Spanish tapas place that just opened.
Wow.
So they have different puchetas and different tapas. They even have paellas. This one is a very authentic French pastry that just opened also.
Ooh.
There was a pastry place before this, but they closed and this took over. It was really, really good. They had this pistachio pastry, and I love anything pistachios. I'm obsessed with pistachios. So yeah, for the tapas place, you actually get a choice of getting, I think, 4 to 8 different tapas on the price. I can't remember what how much it is. I think it's a 20 or a 30 for 6 or something like that. But it's really, really nice because me and my husband shared it together. And they are fairly authentic. Yeah, because I've been to Spain.
Ooh.
So I went to.
So you know the real deal.
Yeah, I went to Madrid and Barcelona.
Ah.
That's how they pronounce it, Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Yeah. So I was there just a couple weeks back, and this French pastry place just opened. They had different types of pastry. They have fruit tarts and some, really, really good different pastries. I mean, they were pretty full. It is a little bit more pricey, but I'm also from New York, so I think I know what pricey is.
Yeah.
But I think but
pricey
it is
according to Albuquerque.
Yeah, it is a little bit pricey for Albuquerque, but I think it's definitely worth it because it is very, very authentic. I have been to Paris also.
Ooh.
So, I mean, it is a really, really good French pastry place. As for the tapas place, it's been there, I think, for a month or so already.
Okay.
I just forgot about it last time, and I guess I definitely wanted to showcase it. But there are I think that the thing that I like about Sawmill is you can kind of get different things.
Different things, yes.
For the different stall.
Yeah, it's also very vibrant. The place is very vibrant. You have all these different varieties, and you can walk around. It's nice.
It's really busy
It's very
too,
nice.
especially on the weekends.
I haven't been on a week. Well, I don't remember when I went, but okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's fairly busy on the weekends, and mostly I think for dinners also, because I've been there for dinners. My husband's cousin loved the pizza place in that area. I mean, that pizza is a little bit pricey too, because I think
Just a little bit.
because I think everybody knows Dion's here in Albuquerque,
yeah.
so Dion is fairly fair price, I think, for competing chains. I mean, it's not going to be Little Caesar. Little Caesar is the cheapest pizza, but I think for what they offer, pizza wise,
decent,
yeah.
yeah.
But I think the one in Sawmill, they do that cool stone pizza thing. They put in that little thing.
The stone hut.
Yeah, I want to get. I told my husband, I want to get one of those things. Even though I don't eat pizza that much, but it's the best pizza.
Yeah.
One of my favorite thing there also is the Necco ice cream. Have you seen it?
I have, yes.
The little fish thing.
Yes.
The little fish ice cream.
Yes.
I love that because I love the ube flavor is one of the flavors that are taking over. It's the purple anything.
Okay, maybe I'm missing out on that trend maybe.
Yeah. So ube is almost like purple yam.
Okay.
But it's they're only made from the Philippines. They can only be.
I think you talked about this
Yeah.
before. Yes.
Yeah. So anything purple now is technically ube, but it's
It's
can't,
not really?
It can't because it's coming from a little teeny country. The Philippines is this big in the world map. So there's no way ube is I mean, we can only make so much. But like they have like an ube flavor, and then I put like mochi and like condensed milk and the red bean thing with the little fish, like because that's like
Yeah.
the little fish waffle.
Yes.
And they also have these little pastries, the little fish pastries with like Nutella
Uh-huh.
or red bean inside.
Yeah.
Oh, I love those things.
So maybe it's ube flavor. Maybe it's not ube, right? I mean, that's.
I think so.
It's like, how many of these things have what you call natural
Natural
flavors, which are only designed so that you get addicted to them. I don't know.
But they're also like made in the lab. They're like
But
synthetic.
they're natural.
Yeah. So
They're natural flavors.
yeah.
Yes.
So I think there's also like a poke place, a poke.
Oh, poke place. The what is it called? I forget. There's a poke place which. Okay, never mind. It's not coming up right now. Sorry.
The train of thought has left the building.
Yes, the train of thought has left the building.
Yeah, I think like my husband got like a filet mignon sandwich on like the meat stand thing, but it was like so expensive. I think it was like almost like $40 when he had that sandwich, and he was okay with it, but it was a filet mignon, so it kind of makes sense. But like I'm trying to think, like there's also I think like there's like a chicken rotisserie place now there too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they just opened, I think, a couple months ago. And then they still have the Pho Asian noodle place right
Yes,
there.
Yes.
And right next to it is the pasta place. I do like the pasta place.
You like the pasta place?
Yeah. I think last time I was there with my friends, we literally like got like one thing from, like we got a chicken, we got a noodle. From the Pho place, we got like a pasta. Yeah, and I think like we had like a chicken salad on like the little, like, when you enter, there's like that little thing on the right, and then there's like tables right here on the left.
Now I feel like I need to go back again because my memory is like a little fading.
Yeah, there's like,
yeah.
I think there's also like there's like a Mexican fusion place, like the little window. Now they're tacos now. They're just tacos. Yeah. I think there's an elote place, a lemonade stand. Trying to think. What else is there?
In general, I'm thinking not just Sawmill, but also outside of outside Sawmill. In Albuquerque, in general, I'm noticing that there are many new places opening. Like the food scene is really.
I think it's
happening.
starting to take off. But I think it's like, I mean, COVID definitely hit a lot of businesses really hard.
Yes.
I mean,
so we think maybe this is like a comeback?
I think so.
Okay.
It's like a renaissance.
It's like a renaissance.
A renaissance. Like I was really, really depressed when like my little curry place closed.
Oh.
I really love that chicken curry place. But I mean, but that's the problem too with like restaurants. It's just
Restaurants is a hard business.
It really is. It's like it's the turntables for restaurants are like really, really hard to like.
It's hard. Like it's labor intensive. The margins are small. It's hard. It's really hard.
That's why everybody's just like, "Oh, you're a chef. You should open your own restaurant." I'm like, I went to school.
Yes.
Like I know exactly how many tables I have to like flip, how many cookies I have to sell. Like the margin of error for like, it's like you barely make any money unless you're like a Gordon Ramsay, right? Where you're just like literally just selling your name, because that's what it is. It's like a franchise.
Story. Yeah, that's a different story.
It's like a franchise because like your name's like an actual franchise. They're buying your name.
Correct.
Right? So like, but when you're just like doing it on your own and opening, like that's why like, and also like I feel like the food truck scene in Albuquerque is also growing.
Picking up, yeah.
Another place that I'm really curious, we might stop there today, is Pacific Rim.
I was just thinking about the same place.
Yeah.
So it's not too far from where I live, and I have not been there, but my friend has, and she's been saying you have to go. I haven't been yet. But
Yeah,
I
because
think I'll
like
make a trip.
a lot of the owners are minority owned and women owned, and I think they're doing like a live music today.
Oh,
I believe.
okay.
Yeah. So go check out Pacific Rim, because I think they do like outside stuff now because it's summer now.
It's summer now. Yeah.
I'm so happy I can wear shorts again.
Yes.
So I'm like, t-shirt and shorts time now. I'm so happy. Yeah. I mean, it's not like I wear, winter stuff anyways. Like I refuse to accept winter, so I just like layer all my. So I just layer all my summer clothes. So I just like put leggings on my dresses, kind of thing and like shorts, and then I just like bundle up on like a jacket and a thicker jacket and like a really thick jacket. So like I just refuse winter.
You refuse
altogether.
winter?
I just don't want to accept it. So, and I think also Sawmill does some live music in the
Events,
summer.
yeah.
Yeah, because like I remember, because they do have like that big outside area in the summer, like when you get out on the left side.
But there's like a
The little
patio kind of a
yeah,
thing.
the patio area, and they have a lot more seating. But in the winter, it's just like
You have to be inside.
I don't understand why, like, if you live in like a place where it gets cold, why don't you just put it like a roof? I just
Look, we're in Albuquerque, okay? So we have all seasons. So you have to plan for that.
no, but it's just so cold. And I think like, because I also live in the west side,
Yeah.
so we get all the wind.
Okay.
So like sometimes I'm like, should I even go outside? Like something I can hold on to, because like because like a lot of people like tells me it's like, oh, you should put like stuff outside of your door, and I'm like, I don't even know if my welcome mat is gonna stay
gonna stay.
outside.
So
like
I have a funny story about this. When we first moved to Albuquerque, and one of the days it was really, really windy, really windy. And so I remember my wife was like, we should not send our son to school because it's really windy. So I sent a note to his head of school saying that, we're not sending him to school because his mom thinks that he might just fly away.
and they're like, no, that's not. That's likelihood is very
You must be
slim.
new to Albuquerque. Like, yeah.
No, because like I remember when we first moved to Albuquerque, a lot of people say it's just like, oh, don't live in the west side because it's windier on the west side. But the problem is just like, as much as we love the northeast side, real estate is very limited because there's the mountains. So
is.
like you can only
Yes.
build so much.
Yeah,
know?
you run into mountains, yes.
Yeah. So it's just
And
like
it gets more expensive as you're closer to the mountains.
exactly. So and it's just like because the thing is just like we do go to the northeast side a fairly good amount anyway. So it's not like we definitely have to plan for it, and not on the weekdays, and not on like, not when it's like rush hour.
hour,
4 to 6 is like a no-no.
It's correct,
Like
yes.
I'm not crossing the Rio Grande.
You're
at
not
that
going on
time.
paseo.
No, it's just
Yes.
like the highway is just ridiculous at that time. But it's just like I think like because like it is like the weather is starting to get nicer and stuff.
yes.
So I think like events are starting to pop up. People are trying to like dust it off and like starting to get out and get dressed and everything. It's like the weather is nice.
The other place I was going to mention is the ABQ Collective. I don't know if you know about this. This is on Eubank, and I want to say like Eubank and Candelaria, maybe around that area. It's on Eubank, and it's a small place. They have lots of different shops, and they do some events also. The food is mostly in food trucks in their parking lot, and most of the food trucks that I've seen there are all like vegan, vegetarian, that kind of stuff. So it's a very interesting place. They have
Barbecue
cool shops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the thing is like
Collective,
I still am not like for somebody who's been here at least more than 4 years. Like I'm still like learning new
Yeah,
stuff
of
about
course.
Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Because like I do have like my favorites, so like I like just go there all the time. So it's just like I try to like, and I cook a pretty good amount, so it's just like that also.
Yeah.
Like all I do is just
Yes.
cook. But like I think I do. It is nice because like my nephews are coming, and like I'm trying to like find events for them because they're
course,
like
of
13
course.
and 10,
Yeah.
and they're all like cool, because they're boys. I can't like
I
can't like win them over the way like I can win over my goddaughters because they're boys. So they try to be like they're be like that cool attitude. They're like like, oh tita, this is nice. I like it. It was fun. Like that attitude. Like it was fun. I like it.
You take them to events where they have physical activity. Like
Oh no, we're going to a lot of trampoline places.
yeah, the urban air is nice. Also, the other thing you could try is Stone Age, like the climbing gym. So that Stone Age has this thing where your first session is free or whatever, first visit is free, and they will teach you how to do it and whatnot. Like they'll give you a little bit of instruction.
Yeah.
The kids might like it.
I'm also gonna try to find like soccer like stuff that they can do because they love soccer.
You could take them to the United game.
Yeah, I
like a
think
big
so. Yeah,
United
that's
game,
like that's one of our plans.
Yes.
So, but yeah, no, I'm just like I'm so excited because I'm like, but I think like everybody's like, no, summer, it's hot, and I'm like, give me sun. I wanna be almost naked. You know, I don't wanna wear any more clothing. So it's just like I'm just excited. I think it's just kind of fun because like they're visiting. Because like the last time they were here was COVID, so literally nothing
Nothing was open.
was open. Like we were lucky when the mall opened. We were like, the mall opened. You know, and they were obsessed with the potato fries.
Talking about the
cheese
mall,
fries.
did you hear? I think there's some conversation going on about having pickleball inside a mall. Did you hear about that? I don't. So I don't remember. Was it the Walmart or some place was like closing down, and in its place they're opening up. They're
A
setting
community
it up.
center.
No. It's still a commercial thing. It's not like a community center, but it's a commercial thing. But you go there to play pickleball, and then they also have food and whatnot.
I feel like
It's like-
pickleball is like definitely. I never heard of it till I moved to Albuquerque, and then everybody's talking about it. I'm like, what? I'm like, what is this pickleball thing? And then my friend is just like, oh no, it's really big here.
It's not just here. It's
Yeah.
the fastest growing sport in America.
I know, but like
like-
I heard also that like a lot of neighborhoods are like complaining about it.
Yes.
So like so
Yes.
like they open up pickleball courts and they're also closing it because like the people
This
that live near the actual courts are complaining. Yeah, because I guess like it's like the sound is different than tennis ball because
Yes.
of the equipment.
Yes.
So it's just like, it's interesting. But yeah, no, like I have friends that are like
They're into pickleball.
insane about it.
Oh.
I'm just like, honestly, I'm not good enough. Like I mean, I am skinny, but like I'm not like I just like I don't think I can do it. I'm just like not,
I think you could
I'm
do it.
Not
So
physical
I've not
enough.
tried it personally, but what I've heard is that it's not as hard as tennis, and it's not, but you still get a workout, and it's still engaging, and that's why it's popular, is because it's accessible, and the court is smaller, and it's more fun.
And I think the equipment is also cheaper than tennis. Because
Yeah,
you
I think
only
I
have
saw
to
it
buy
in-
the paddle thing, right? And the ball
Yeah, I
thing.
think I saw something in Costco, like a whole set for $50 or something. So
Yeah,
it's-
because like I know
yeah.
tennis rackets are so expensive.
Don't talk to me about tennis. My son was learning tennis. The lessons were like $50 an hour, and my son is like, Dad, you should also try it. I'm like, okay, fine. The first thing that the instructor asked me to do is to buy shoes for $110, which I've not used after that. It's like
Yeah, because it's like the same thing with
it's not my it's not a sport that I can
Like
engage in. No.
yeah. It's the same thing with my nephews because like they do soccer, so they have to have like the cleats for the shoes and
Yeah, yeah.
stuff. And then I mean they're growing,
Yes,
so you know they can't
yes.
just be like get.
Yes.
I think like my younger nephew, he can kind of get away with it, but my older nephew,
He
like
needs to.
he's like starting that growth spurt. So
Yes.
like so my sister's like, I have to keep buying him shoes,
Yes.
you know, and they're not cheap.
They're not cheap.
They're not cheap. So
Now, talk about sports. The one that I've been doing is volleyball. So I don't know if we spoke about it in our show before.
I don't think so.
So the Jewish Community Center has volleyball leagues. No, we did.
Yeah,
we
you did, yeah.
So that league just ended. The spring league ended, and now they have a summer
Summer
league.
league.
But the summer league is all sand volleyball. There's also a women's only league, which is indoor volleyball. So of course, sand I don't want to play. Women's I don't qualify.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wait till fall for the next league. But
So like what do they do? Did they put sand inside?
no,
or
not
no?
inside. It's outside. So they have a sand court, and it's
But why
either
can't you have both? I mean, you guys already have the inside.
no. It's I don't like playing sand volleyball. It's outside. It's sunny. It's hot. I prefer the indoor
Done.
court.
No,
That's
but I'm
just my
saying it's like,
preference.
why don't they have both? Why don't they offer both sand and inside?
No, I think to run the leagues they need staff and they need whatever the setup is. So it's-
gotcha. So
Yeah, yeah. But
interesting.
anyways,
No, I think people are going to be busier this summer. I know I'm definitely going to be busier
Busy.
because I'm going to
Yeah.
be shuttling in two boys. So definitely a handful, but a fun handful.
yeah, yeah,
So, and now we're segueing to our hot topic. So like,
yes,
so a lot of like, I think like a lot of the things now, because like we're millennials, are like a lot of the shows and movies are now getting remakes,
oh yes,
right? So people have like certain opinions about them, right? Because like I went to see the Mario movie with my nephews and my goddaughters, and and it was fun because like there were things that like I knew, but there were things they didn't know, and then there were things I didn't know.
Which then
So so like there was like a little blue, like fire character that I don't, because I don't play the new ones,
Okay.
because it confuses me.
Yeah.
Because it's just like literally they're just like jumping and stuff. Like I'm more of like a Mario Kart, classic Mario kind of thing. So I think I remember like when we were in the movies, they're just like, like they don't really know Yoshi, and they were like a little bit confused about Yoshi. And they were like, well, what is that? Like, why is there an egg, like a thing? So I think it's definitely because like I was just like, why is that little blue flame all sad? And I'm like, it's not a blue flame, it's a star. And I was like, So, it's definitely like a mix and meld of like new and old. But like, because like there is like that controversy of like, the Mario voice is Chris Pratt, and they feel like, because like in the movie, he's not the Italian voice. He's actually just like a regular voice. So they just like, they did like I don't want to give any spoilers away, but I feel like it's old already. But like they only did the Italian voice as their commercial for their business. So they don't have Italian voice; they have like regular voice.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That
So
really sucks, yes.
so that's the thing. It's just like people. So like there's like a lot of things from like the grapevine of like a lot of shows are gonna get picked up to be remade. Like King of the Hill is gonna get remade, but like Bobby is like an adult now.
Yeah, I mean these things. I don't know how I feel about it because like for Mario for example, we grew up with it, right?
Yeah.
And so we have a very special relationship with it. But now you see it all like sort of spoiled and what's the word? Like polluted. And it doesn't sit well, It's like
I have like a kind of like a interesting take on it. It's
Okay.
just that a part of me do like want to like keep the innocence of
yes.
like of what I grew up with, like the
Yes.
essence, like
Correct.
the essence.
Yeah.
But then like it's also nice to kind of like pass the baton, like the Mario movie, right? So like watching that with my nephews. So like at the beginning of the movie they were confused because that was more like the old
old one,
style.
yeah.
But like the second part I was a little bit confused because that was more like the Mario. Like that's like the part where they have like, because he turns into a cat, right? And they were just like, what is that? And it's like, that kind of thing. So for the Mario 3 game and
Yes.
that kind of thing. So there are some things that they didn't know. So like to like kind of like meld those two memories together kind of thing is interesting to me, because then like we had like kind of like a connection because they have like
Okay.
their own Mario, but I
Correct.
also had like my own Mario that we like kind of like bridged together.
I see.
But I think also like, because it is, I'm not gonna say that like, I'm not gonna say that like I don't have like an attachment, because like just think of a Jumanji. Like to us, our Jumanji is always gonna be
Like it's not the same as what's there
No.
now. Yeah.
yeah. So to us, Jumanji is always gonna be Robin Williams.
Yes.
But like to my nephews, their Jumanji is like The Rock and Kevin Hart. I mean, it was still. I mean, I watched it because like I said, it's like I have nephews now, so
Yes.
like I watch all that stuff with them. So like to see like that kind of different lens on how they take that movie, because also Jurassic Park
Yes.
Park is totally
Classic
different from
is different.
us,
Yeah.
right? And then Jurassic Park with my nephews are with Chris Pratt and like what's her name? But like they have, because it was also a remake.
It's a remake. Yeah.
And it's not a bad remake, but we're always. But to me, it's just like I think like we're always gonna have like that kind of
Like a soft spot for the
Yeah.
original. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because like I do hate it when like older generation does this thing where they're like, well, you guys are so spoiled now. You don't even know what FX was like. And I'm like, no, I don't wanna. Like, it's so dumb. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Move on with the times.
yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not saying that, like, like, also, like, why? Like, for how good, like, special effects is now, like if I had that when I was young, like it would have been like it would have made movies completely. I'm not saying that like RoboCop is like, you know what I mean, or Terminator
Yes.
wasn't like its own
Yeah.
classic,
Yeah.
but
Or Star Wars. Right?
oh yeah,
It was Star
exactly.
Wars,
I mean, it has its own. I feel like it has its own mantle.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You also you do have to take a nod to the classics,
Of course.
right?
Of
Because
course.
like that's
Of
where
course.
that's where we start for.
Yeah.
But to say just like well, you guys don't get like I'm like I don't want my nephews to be playing in a Game Boy and like wasting double A batteries. Like 24 of them in a day, you know what I mean? Because like the first Game Boys, you can't even recharge them. Remember, you have to put batteries on them.
Correct.
Or like, do I want them to blow their Nintendo game console? You know what I mean? Like, remember, like we had to like take it out and then blow it because like sometimes it would like shortcut,
Yeah.
and it's like get glitchy, and then sometimes it won't play. Like, why would I want to pass that on when my nephews have like Wii that they can like
PS2 or
yeah.
PS4.
So they have like the Nintendo Wii now. They can like take in the road or they can play on their TV. Like
Oh, yeah.
I can't even imagine my childhood was like if I had that. You know what I mean? And like remember like how expensive technology was on our time.
Yes.
Like we could only afford one Game Boy. And unfortunately, my brother hijacked most of that. So like
You're talking about Game Boy. I remember the time when we were growing up. My younger brother had to actually literally like throw tantrums and really fight with my father to get us a black and white TV. It was like that. So, no, that. And then when the color TV came out, then he had to repeat the whole thing to get a color TV. It's like, and we used to get like one channel. This is back in India, but we used to get like one channel, and like we would all gather together on, I think it was Tuesday nights. So I think it was Tuesday nights. I don't remember exactly. But there was a 1 hour program where all they showed was famous movie songs from Indian movies. And so the family would get together and we would watch it together. It was sweet. That was sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing is just like so like my friend just told me that my goddaughter, she's like the least technological person ever. She's like, she's very, very jealous of my nephews. My nephews has phones since they were like 7 or 8. But this year, she's getting a landline. So I told her, Gladys, 1997 calls back, and it's calling your name. I got landline. Like, I told my friend, I'm like, Carrie, you are so mean. Like, why would you get Gladys a landline? Get her a freaking cell phone. And she's like, no, she's going to have to earn it. And also, she has her landline in her room. I didn't even get a landline in my own room. And I'm just like, yeah. Because we were in the 90s.
I know.
Like, and that's the thing, it's just like, I don't want to pass that on to my kids. Like, there are just some things that's just like, and I think like, there was like a talk of like the what is that movie? The Princess, not Princess Diaries. But there's that
Say
movie.
more,
Yeah, there's that movie where like, you killed my father, prepare to die, that movie.
Oh, Star Wars, right?
No, Princess something. But like, a lot, like I said, it's just like a lot of people were like, Princess Bride,
Thank
yes.
you.
Princess Bride, yeah. So like a lot of people are like really, really opposed to it because it is like a classic. But then if you think about it, it's just like, if you're watching stuff with your like kids or like your nephews or now, and then they watch our movie, they're so confused sometimes. You know what I mean? And that's why I think like I don't mind it getting remaked because then like we have like something
Like
to
something
talk
shared.
about. Yeah, something shared together kind of thing. Because like why would I also like want to like, oh, this is my thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fine line because some remakes are just plain horrible. Like they ruin it for everybody, not just right. So the remakes have to be done very like keeping the spirit of the thing going. So it's very like I don't have a generic opinion on remakes, but I have like, okay, if you're doing it, do it well. That's
You
important.
just want it to be like of quality.
Quality, yes.
Yeah.
Quality.
Because like if you think about it too, it's just like look at like all the Disney movies now. Like they're all like like the live adaptations.
Yes.
And some people have like some really, really strong opinions about that. You know what I mean? They're like, why are they even doing it? It's not even the
Exactly,
same in
yeah.
the cartoons. And we just like because if you think about it, it's like you have to appeal to the new masses. I mean, there's gonna be things that are classic. Cause like right now, I'm getting so like since my goddaughters and nephews were like 5 or 6 years old, I'm starting to get them into the Miyazaki films, like Spirited Away
Yeah,
and all
the
that stuff.
Miyazaki, yeah.
So like
Miyazaki.
like we've been going through that stuff, and some of them are like getting more and more serious. Like we went to watch like Princess Mononoke.
Oh,
And
yes.
so like that's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the serious more territory
Yes.
than like Spirited Away. But I think like they're getting older now too, so like
they
they
can
can understand it a little bit more. But they still like it.
Yeah.
But it is definitely a different from like
It's a different theme. Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
different theme than like Kiki's Delivery Service.
Correct, correct.
So, but that's the thing. Also, it's just like I want them to also like eventually, if they have kids, pass them on to their own
Sure,
kids.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And I think
Yeah.
like I feel like I don't want to. I mean, there are things that I want to like keep to myself, but like I feel like it is nice to have like something shared to like the younger generation. I think.
Also, I think there's this thing about between one generation and the immediate next one, it's hard to bridge the gap. But if you skip a generation, there's a different kind of bonding.
Yeah.
And that's where these things get passed on. Like that's just
I can see
things
that
that happen,
happening.
right? I mean,
But yeah, no. Honestly, to me, it's just like I mean, there have been some remakes that are like just completely trash.
yes.
But like I feel like they just stop making Terminator because I feel like it's just getting worse and worse. I mean, that last one is actually not as bad, but I feel like it needs to be better writing.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just
And talking about, so the Terminator is a series which is getting worse. In my opinion, Marvel is a series that is getting more and more complicated. I don't know, I can't keep up. It's like-
it is a lot more because like they're bridging TV, and I do like it because like it is more diverse now.
I like it. I'm not saying that, but it's getting too much. It's like, like we went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy, the latest one, in the theater. It was a week ago or something. It was nice. It's a nice movie. But if I have to keep track of all the things that have happened so far, it's too much.
It is a lot because like now
long.
you're just like, what happened in the last movie
I know.
again?
And
Yeah.
like who's related to what, and
Yeah.
where were they introduced, and what
Yeah.
is their backstory?
My husband has a problem with that because like every time we watch Stranger Things, we have to do the intro because he'll be like, "Wait, what happened?" And I'm just like, "Oh my God, Ryan, we have to watch the intro." Like because it's been like a year already. I mean, it takes
Yeah.
about a year now with the writer's strike. It's gonna take
Yes.
like a little bit longer.
Yes. yes.
So, but now we're gonna talk about Are You
Are-
A-Hole? So this is very interesting because this is family stuff. Family stuffs are always complicated.
Yes. Family's complicated.
So I, 32 female, recently inherited a good amount of money from my mom.
Ooh.
I keep the money in a separate account as I still haven't decided what to do with it and I didn't want it to go to waste. I noticed my husband constantly bringing up the inheritance money and making countless suggestions as to how I should spend it. That's such like a spouse thing to do. Another thing that he expects me is to pay for nearly everything for the past couple of weeks. For New Year's Eve, my husband and I met up with his family at a restaurant to celebrate. It was going fine until I found out that I was expected to pay for everyone at the table. My husband's mom joked about paying for dinner out of my inheritance pocket, which made me livid, but I showed no reaction. I just silently paid for my own food and drinks, then got up and made my way out of the restaurant. They were shouting after me like a crowd, and my husband tried to get me to come back, but I drove home. He got back at 3 a.m., yelling at me saying I was pathetic, to get up and walk out on him and his family after they relied on me to pay for their food and thought I was gracious enough to do it, but they were wrong. He said I humiliated him and my family and his family, and that what I did was an attempt to get back at them for not being to help when my mom was sick. Not true is all I'm gonna say. He is mad and is saying that I caused a huge rift between his family and me when it wouldn't have hurt for me to pay for the celebratory dinner. Oh, there's so many red flags about that story.
Yes, I agree.
Because first of all, celebratory dinner when your mom just passed away.
Yeah.
I mean, given it is New Year's Eve, but
But still, it's
celebratory dinner for what?
yeah, I mean, So first thing is, I would say, just from like a common sense perspective, if she got an inheritance, she should save it, she should invest it so that it lasts longer instead of just spending it away. That's number one. Even if you're going to spend it away or spend a portion of it, it's your call. You get to decide who you want to spend it on. And I don't know, I think this is a universal law that there's this thing about, you and your in-laws, like they were put together so that you can practice acceptance.
Yeah.
Most people don't get along well with their in-laws.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you be forced to do that?
I
Why?
think, I think like,
I don't see the logic.
the thing is just like, there is that saying that like money complicate things, and money shows people's true characters.
Yes. So money amplifies whatever the issues are to begin with. Right? It's not that money creates new issues, but it amplifies that. So, for example, if you're a generous person and you have a lot of money, your generosity will increase.
Yeah.
If you are a miser, if you have problems, then those problems will get amplified, right? I mean, that's...
Yeah. I can see
that's
that. And I
yeah.
think also like, first of all, they didn't tell her that she was supposed that she was supposed to like. I mean, I get it. It's
She has
just
to agree.
like, yeah,
She has to agree, right?
yeah.
I mean,
It's like I get it that there's like this joking kind of thing. It's just like, oh, you have to pay for your inheritance money, but then also like,
there's a line to draw somewhere, right?
and also like I think like people grieve in different ways.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So, I think like for them to already expect money from a situation that she's still grieving in is not only just bad taste,
Yeah.
but I just feel like also like I feel like she's already like been having problems with her in-laws already.
I mean, it sounds like it, right? Like,
Yeah.
like we were just saying, that money will amplify those issues. So maybe there are some inherent things that are already going on, which now with the added component of money is coming to the surface even more strongly. Right?
Yeah.
So
It's just like I just feel like if my husband does that to me, murder suicide. But I will be alive. So like I think it's also like for people to just like expect for you to pay for them, like family or not. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like because like there's like when I visit my family, I usually do pay for most of the stuff, and if I don't, I usually like let my, like usually I pay for the activities that I do with my nephews and stuff. So like if we go to like the trampoline park, and then obviously they eat, I'm not gonna be like my sister and be like, hey, Venmo me like $15 for Chick-fil-A. You know what I mean? So I think like I just feel like it was bad taste.
It was bad taste.
It was
It was inconsiderate in some ways.
It was inconsiderate, and also I think like bad timing.
Timing, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's also like bad timing. I understand that it was like New Year's Eve, but just because it's like, just because, when you're grieving, you feel that the whole world is still revolving around you, right?
Yes.
And you're like stuck,
Yes.
like grieving and wallowing in your own sadness. And I think like it's also not everybody's fault. I mean, it's just everybody's just living.
It's a process.
Yeah,
And it's a different process for different people.
Yeah. But I think to me, like, because like I'm in a relationship and I'm with my husband, I feel like if anything, it's like such a red flag to my partner.
Of course. Like you're expecting to be on the same team, and now suddenly he's on a different team. Right? And that's a problem.
Yeah. And also like the fact that like he said that like she created a rift between her and his family, and I'm like, that's your family.
That's your problem. That's your
like,
problem.
Yeah. And I feel like this is one of those things where like if there's a little bit of like a miscommunication or anything with your family, you need to help, like my partner needs to help me, because like I'm not, like I didn't grow up with your family. I don't know your communication style, you know what I mean? Like I don't know how you guys like, resolve different issues. Like some people, they like some time before they talk about things. Some people, they want to like, talk about it head on,
away,
that kind of thing. It's just like, so unless you grew up with your family, you don't know how
You
to
don't know
deal.
the-
You know what I
exactly.
mean? So
Yeah.
your partner is supposed to be your partner,
Exactly.
and instead, like he decided to like jump ship on you,
That's
right?
that kind of sucks.
Yeah,
Well,
like
I mean, like maybe I would say maybe she could have just stayed and talked about it, but it doesn't seem like that would have helped. Like I mean, from
Yeah.
what you read, right?
I think also like either way she's gonna resent it, right?
Correct.
Because like it's not like a win-win situation for her. Her
Mm-hmm.
walking away, obviously, there is some part of you that you know you're gonna create some tension.
Of course.
But
of
if
course.
she paid for it, she would have resented it because at the end of the day, it's not her money.
No, I'm not saying she should have paid for it. I'm saying that she should have paid for her thing, but maybe not walked away. Maybe still stayed with them.
Later.
That I mean, that could have been maybe again like given the limited information we have. Maybe that's
Yeah.
one suggestion I would have is
Yeah.
stay. So
But also like I can kind of understand why, like it's like like you're at the point of like anger. She's already grieving, right?
Yes.
When you're
So it's
already
easy to-
grieving,
yeah.
you're already not in the right state of mind.
it's easy to get triggered. It's
It's easy to get triggered. Like you want to be logical about things, but when you're in a high emotional state,
Yeah,
that's
it's not
really hard.
easy.
We're all humans.
Yeah, it's not.
You know what I
easy.
mean?
It's
And I
not
feel
easy.
like I can see her feeling like they just gang up on her.
Yes.
You know what
and
I mean?
that's the worst feeling to have. Right? It's like-
Yeah.
yeah.
Because like you think like you're in a comfort of like a company that like that the was
like your
supposed
partner is on your side, you're comfortable, but then suddenly it's like
They turn
a loss
on
of
you.
trust. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a loss of trust.
I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, family is just so
It's
complicated.
complicated. Yeah.
I know.
It's
It's
complicated.
just, and that's the thing. Also, it's just like we don't know the updates or like what happens and all that
correct.
stuff. We're all just like stipulating on other people's drama. We're just like looking at like a peek
Well,
out the
yeah,
window,
we have just like a little window.
of
yes.
whatever information,
Yes.
that
they,
kind of
They
stuff.
chose to
Yeah,
share.
because there's always her story, his story,
Correct.
their story, and the
Correct.
real story,
Correct.
kind of thing. So I think like it's
I
definitely
mean, to
interesting.
contrast, right, like I was on a trip recently and we were visiting and I met up with my college friend. And the guy's like, I'll pay for your food. I'm like, dude, you don't have to. But he didn't let me pay for our food. He paid for us. Like friendship is more like that. It's from authority. It's like, no, dude, I'm paying for it. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So,
But I
it's
think
like,
also
yeah.
it's just like they should have like I think like there was definitely a lack of communication on all different sides. It's not like anybody's at fault or anything. I think it's just like
Yeah.
they should have just talked about it.
Yes.
But and in saying that, this is how we end the show for
This
this
is how we
week.
end the show. Yes.
And we will see you guys next week. If you want to have more information about our show, you would like to sponsor or be a business to be sponsored on our show, or if you have any concerns that you would like to bring into our show, just email us in our website and just follow us on our social media handles. You guys have a nice
We'll
week.
see you next time.